I get a ton of questions asking what gear I use on certain hunts. So I figured I'd do a full breakdown of the things I take on an archery elk hunt. I'm also going to go over a few things to help save you some money, because the less you spend on gear, the more you can spend on hunting trips. And I'm also going to go over the system I use to stay organized. That way I don't forget anything, especially if I'm going out of state. The bow I've been running the past few years is the Mathews Verdict, set at 70 pounds. It draws super smooth, holds well, and was one of the quietest bows I shot at the time. A few days ago, I went down with my brother and he picked up the brand new Mathews Arc 34. So we're going to do a full review video of that on the channel. Stay tuned for that. I'm curious to see how it stacks up to the older model. I haven't got to shoot it yet. For a quiver, I'm running the Tight Spot 5-arrow quiver. Comes off really well with this little lever and is very compact and sleek. As far as the sight goes, I shoot the IQ Pro 7-pin fixed. One feature of this sight I really liked is it has a secondary bubble. It has your standard bubble on the bottom. And then it has a circular bubble here to make sure that your anchor point and everything is all lined up every single time you shoot. So if you're shooting steep up, steep down, or you're leaning around a tree or something, not in your normal shooting position, it tells you that you're off your anchor point and you need to adjust. I prefer a 7-pin fixed over, say, a slider or single pin, because I can make adjustments on the fly. If I've already rearranged trees and I know the distances, I don't have to do anything. I can just move up a pin, down a pin, especially for like a follow-up shot. But the biggest thing to remember is anything with gear is personal preference. This is all stuff that's gonna work for me. It might not work for you, but there's a possibility you guys can get something out of this, and it'll make these gear decisions easier for you. As far as a rest, I shoot the Trophy Taker Smackdown Pro, and I have a Bee Stinger stabilizer, nothing fancy. Best feature right here is that you can put it over your shoulder and walk. So if you don't have a little bit longer stabilizer yet, you haven't hopped on the bandwagon just for carrying purposes, it's worth it. Let's get right into arrows. There is a ton of different opinions on what kind of arrow you should shoot, whether it be a fast arrow, a heavy arrow, a ton of FOC. I'm somewhere kind of in the middle. Elk are such big, thick, tough animals that I just want to get as much penetration as I can and get into the vitals. So this is my elk hunting setup. This is the Easton Axis 5mm in a 340. I have a short draw length, 27 inches. I wrap my arrows always Blazer 3-fletch, and then 50 grains up front for an insert. And then I shoot the Kudu Point Contour Plus broadheads in 125 grain. I used to shoot a different brand that was like a 4-blade, and I had penetration problems. About 5 years ago, I switched to these, and they have been awesome. If you're not familiar with the way the single bevel works, they're cut on contact and they rotate as they cut through. So your wound channel is a spiral. So the thought is that it's less likely to close up and it causes more damage on its way through. And I've had really good luck with these. My bull last year, I shot him. He took 2 steps and tipped over. So highly recommend the Kudu Point broadheads. As far as optics goes, I run the Wilderness Pack Specialties Bino harness. It's single hand magnetic closure. You got a zippered pouch in the back. You can put your license and I put my card reader in here. It's got MOLLE webbing so you can add pouches or your pistol to the bottom of it. I put one on here for my rangefinder. Make sure and get a tether for your rangefinder. A lot of people overlook that and they just have the little string, but this little bungee style one, I really liked it. And this is just a cheap Nikon Aculon rangefinder. I've had this thing for a long time. You don't need a super expensive rangefinder that can range out to 2,000 yards to archery hunt. If you're anything like me, this thing gets the crap beat out of it every September, so you just need something reliable and fast so you can make those ranges before you take your shot. Binoculars. So there's a few things that you can save a little bit of money on, and then there's some other things like binoculars, boots, packs. Those are the things you need to probably spend a little bit more money on, because you're going to spend the most time behind your glass, in your boots, or with your pack on your back. I run the Vortex Razor HD 8x42s. I like that they're a little bit lighter. It's really thick and brushy where I'm from, so I like the 8 power, the wider view. It's just a personal preference thing. A lot of guys like 10x42s, but these are just my jam. And they have a great warranty if I have any problems with them. Vortex, you just send them in and they fix them and send them back, or send you a brand new pair. So their warranty system is great. Number one thing that never leaves my pack is my water filter. As humans, we're dependent on clean water, and these Sawyer squeeze systems are simple and reliable. All you do is fill the bag and squeeze. No batteries, no pumps, and they're very inexpensive. I think these are like $30 to $35. Second thing is I always keep a first aid kit in here. It's got a generic first aid kit as well as a foot care kit with moleskin. I also keep a variety of medications in there in case any medical emergencies arise. Say someone gets stung by a bee and they have an allergic reaction, or they're allergic to some food, because you only got what you brought when you're in the middle of nowhere and you're having a medical problem. I keep Imodium in there in case somebody doesn't use their water filter. You just want to be prepared for anything when you're 10 miles back on an elk hunt, or even 2-hour hike out. So very important to keep everything that you need in there. Third thing is my kill kit. My kill kit breakdown is I keep a fixed blade knife in there. I like the Outdoor Edge swing blade. It's got the gut hook as well as your standard thick sturdy blade. Second thing is the Outdoor Edge replaceable blade knife. Works very well, and the blades are still pretty durable. Replacement blades for that knife. I also keep a bone saw in there, a small, light, packable one, as well as a quick sharpener. This is just a little tiny, light one. You just gotta have something to keep your edge on. There's a ton of different brands of those. That's just a little tiny, light one. Next thing I always keep in there is headlamps. I keep 2 headlamps in my kill kit, because usually if you're there taking care of an animal, it's gonna be a while. Little tech tip, if you take one of your batteries and flip it around backwards, then your headlamp cannot turn on in your bag. These are just semi-inexpensive Coast brand ones. I like these because I can switch the batteries out. I can pack more batteries if I don't have a way to charge them. So I have a little redundancy in that. Same thing, I also keep extra batteries. I don't like to be caught in the dark. Or a lot of times, you know, your hunting partner doesn't bring batteries or bring his headlamp. Another little random thing I keep in there is a screwdriver. In case you end up having to cape an animal in the field, I like this little bent screwdriver to reach up and help finish the caping around the base of the horns. Also, I keep flagging tape in here in case you need to mark, say, a blood trail or a kill site or anything like that. Next thing I have in here is my Crazy Elk tag wallet. So these are really cool product. You put your tag in there, and then it has some reusable zip ties. You're able to attach it to your antlers, and it's visible that it's tagged. And it also protects your tag from getting lost or damaged. A lot of these tags anymore, that weird paper that if they get wet, half the words disappear. Disappearing ink. So a cool product, and this is made here in Washington as well. Let's hop on to boots next. So I run the Kinetrek Mountain Extreme Insulated. Super rugged boot. They're a stiff boot. I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's always wet. It's always swampy. It's always raining. And these things keep my feet dry, which is hard to do around here. And they're rugged, and I put these things through miles and miles and miles of brush, and they just keep coming back for more. One thing I will say is if you go try these on, I'm not a big fan of the factory insoles. They have a high arch insole in them a lot of times when you buy them. And I take them out and I run a memory foam insole. It's just way more comfortable. Everybody's feet is shaped different, so you just got to find something that's going to work for you. Going hand in hand with the boots, you can have the best boots on the planet, but if you don't have a good set of gaiters, your pants are going to get wet, your socks are going to get a little bit wet, and then it's going to wick down into your boots. And you're still going to have wet feet with the best boots on the planet. So get you a good set of gaiters. There's a ton of companies that make them. You don't have to spend $1,000 on them. I run the Kinetrek ones. They've served me well. They're pretty plain Jane, but another thing to look at is quiet, because some of the other ones are kind of a little more scratchy material and they're really noisy. Another thing I always have in my pack, Sour Patch Kids. It's just a weird little good luck thing, and it's always in the bottom of my pack. So if I run out of food, I have a little bit of sugar in there. I really just got a little bit of a sweet tooth, I guess. So I always keep Sour Patch Kids in my pack. They're good luck, so keep Sour Patch Kids in your pack. Next thing we'll hop on to is calls. So I prefer the Phelps Renegade Bugle Tube for a few reasons. It's kind of the best of the both worlds. It's not super duper long, like some of the other ones, to where I don't like it when it's in your pack and it's sticking above to where it's getting caught on brush and stuff. This one's a little more, little shorter, and it's still got that deep tone and sound. As far as reeds go, I like the Phelps Pink Signature Series. Everybody's a little bit different, so if you're getting into elk calling, just get a whole bunch of different ones and try them all out and see what fits your palate. Because I may like one, and then my hunting partner may like a complete different one. But this is just the combo that's worked for me. So, like I said, that's just what I prefer. All this stuff is what I prefer. So, if you guys get any value out of this, that's what it's all about. Seeing what people are using in real life, not paid. Nobody's sponsoring this video. All this is stuff that I personally use on every single hunt. Every piece of gear that I've showed you has went in my pack on every hunt this year. Another thing that I use is the Camp Chef stove system. I like it because it doesn't rattle. It's got a locking, nice sturdy handle, lid. You have an adjustable burner on here. The whole thing fits in the pot well. Little tech tip, I like to keep paper towels in the bottom of it. One, if your canister's a little bit dirty, it doesn't get your pot dirty, and it also keeps it just, it's like the perfect amount of snug to keep it nice and tight in there. But yeah, that's the stove system I use. One thing I forgot, I guess, is my release. I run the Scott Shark. It's just your standard caliper release. I've tried some newer ones, some of the tension releases, and I just can't get on board with it. I guess I'm a little old school, and the Scott Shark is my jam. And as far as digiscoping goes, last year on my elk hunt, I picked up the MagView system, and it has some pretty cool features. So you just put your bracket on your optic, open the lens cover, and then open your camera app, line up your deal, drop it on there, attaches with a magnet. You want to use your phone, pull it off, and it has a built-in lens cover. I think that is the #1 feature of the MagView. It's simple, easy to use, and also you don't have a big bracket off your phone or a phone case. It's just this thin little piece here, so it slips in and out of your pocket really easily. They have a new system that works with the mag circles. It's self-aligning, so I haven't checked that one out yet, but I need to get and order one. The last piece of gear I'm going to go over is packs. I ran the Wilderness Pack Specialties Ibex bag with the Yukon frame last year, and this thing is a meat hauling machine. I do a full video rundown and a separate video on this one. So if you want to learn more about that one, go check it out. It comes in at a pretty good price point, and it's made in America. The bag I've run for quite some time is the Stone Glacier Sky Talus 6900. This pack is very, very light. It's probably the #1 pro of this bag is once you take everything out of it, it is super duper light. Carries weight really well. It's comfortable. It's got a lot of adjustability. All this is Velcro. Good lumbar system. I did develop some squeaks in the shoulder straps as far as a negative with this pack, but I have put some serious miles on this thing and it has done me well. But this pack is definitely in the upper range for cost. You know, you got all your major flagship brands and they all make a good pack. You just have to figure out one that fits your body type and is comfortable for you. Just like boots, just like anything else, you got to go try them on and see what works. But I put this thing through its paces and it has done very, very well. Shed hunting, elk hunts, you name it, it's been there. So, and the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is my system to stay organized and make sure I don't forget anything on these out-of-state trips. So what I do is I make a Excel spreadsheet and it's got all the items that I'm going to bring, from food to tags, you name it, put it all on there. And then what type of hunt is it going to be? You know, archery, Montana, and are we backpacking in? Are we base camping? Are we riding four-wheelers? Put all those details in there and then that will build your list. And over time, you'll be able to just grab that list, or we're going on an archery elk hunt and we are bivvy camping. Grab that list and it's got almost everything you need on it. And as you find things that you forgot or needed, you can add those to the list and it just takes that little bit of stress away getting ready for a hunt. Thanks guys for watching the video. Really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next one.